Sonic Adventure is one of the most iconic Sonic games to ever exist, and in my opinion, this is a game that has aged extremely well when you consider the controls for Sonic and the gameplay in the speed stages. If you watch my channel, this is often a game I will call the gift that keeps on giving, primarily due to the fact that there's always new skips and shortcuts to discover when you play as Sonic. This is a game that truly holds up to this day with so much level of detail in the hub world. In my opinion, this is one of the most ambitious Sonic games to ever release, and I will always hold this game near and dear to my heart. But the fact of the matter is, this game is 25 years old, so at this point, it's basically a solved game. There's not really too many mysteries to uncover, because everything that there is to talk about this game has already been discovered until today. In today's video, a 25-year-old Sonic Adventure mystery will get a new development, as well as some never-before-seen concept art. So if you enjoy daily Sonic videos and Sonic video essays, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. I'll give you a second to do that.
It's party time!
And hopefully you smash the like button and join the comment section down below as we uncover this mystery. So the story of this mysterious Sonic character discovered 25 years later begins in infamous Speed Highway. Speed Highway is known for its iconic loops that you go through in the beginning of the level while maintaining your blazing pace throughout. This is the part of the story where Sonic loses Amy and she gets chased down by the Zero robot, and you have to steal an employee's identification in order to get into the roof where Sonic will then embark on his journey to run throughout the city. As you speed like a demon throughout the city and all throughout the night, followed by this absolutely iconic scene to cap off your wild night running through the city, it will eventually become morning and you will be at the ground level of Station Square. Once again, something like this just showcases how special Sonic Adventure is with how well it blends in the level to hub world transitions. But while you run through the city, one thing that you may have discovered or may have not discovered realistically, because this is something that is very obscure, you will see this sign right here. And what does it have? It has a new anthropomorphic character that we have never seen before. What could it possibly be? It looks kind of like a duck or something. I don't know, dude. And it has some weird writing here, which is clearly illegible because I am playing on an upscaled texture 4K version of Sonic Adventure. But who is this mysterious character right here? Is it significant? Well, now we finally have some clues. Enter in Satoshi Okano. Okano joined Sega in 1996 after serving as the planner, character designer, and main graphic artist for K's Net's Uchu Race Astro Go-Go. He was responsible mainly for the promotional artwork of Sonic Jam, which was used in the cover for Sega Saturn magazine. The title of the game also came from his submission and meant, in his words, "Jam is like the jam in a jazz session." It means that it's packed with cool stuff, and Sonic Jam definitely was a really cool game. This was Sonic's first true outing in 3D as a platformer. It had several concepts that would later be used throughout the Sonic series, most notably Sonic Adventure with the hub worlds, and also probably Sonic Frontiers when you consider the open zone. But when you think of Okano, this is what he was most known for. But another major project that he worked on was Sonic Adventure, and in particular, new sketches have come out of this character that he worked on, and we do not know who she is. All that we knew about this character is that she was going to be a spider, and I know it doesn't actually look like a spider, but that is what we know. And this character was plastered all over Speed Highway Part 2. And that's it. You know, maybe it was just meant to be a clever Easter egg that we were never meant to discover, but now we have some new context on what she was supposed to be, what character she actually was, and we have a bunch of new concept art for Sonic Jam as well as Sonic Adventure. So here's a tweet that started it all. It said, "This may be a strange question, but do you know anything about the girl in the posters in Speed Highway and Sonic Adventure top left?" To which Satoshi Okano replied and said this was a character of the planned spider, which there was not, which I used. So there's some translation issues there, but basically what he said was this was a planned spider character that never actually made it into Sonic Adventure. It's now officially confirmed. Which led to this poster asking, "Sorry for the late reply, but do you have any full body concept art for this character? I would love to see her full design." And lo and behold, the concept art for the character now known as Spider-Girl has finally been revealed. If you look to the left right here, this character was able to blow out hearts that were spider-shaped, and it looks like she had several hands. So now, I guess you could say that it looks a little bit more like a spider based off of the limbs that she has, but it's still a very odd-looking character because all Sonic characters are typically mammals. If you look to the right over here, we also have more concept art as well. She has that classic signature Sonic look, but also if you look down below, I guess you can definitely see where they were going with to try and make this look like a spider. From what it looks like in the sketchbook, the character does look very similar, and it looks like she made it far enough into development to get a 3D model Sonic franchise, and we finally have confirmation that she was planned to be in Sonic Adventure. Her name was in development, Spider-Girl, and this is more than just an Easter egg. This was going to be a planned character. This is some obscure part of Sonic history that's really interesting to see, and it's awesome to see it all come together. And after 25 years, a Sonic Adventure mystery has finally been solved, but there's still a lot of cool stuff to uncover with some of this concept art that has dropped. A lot of this concept art has to do with the egg carrier, the iconic Sonic Jam, and the system that Sonic Jam was released on, the Sega Saturn. So let's take a look at some of this legendary concept art that has now been discovered 25 years later. So some of the less interesting concept art is for Sonic Jam. Now this is showcasing several points of interest that you would find in the hub world. You have the History Museum, you have the Movie House, you have the Sound House, and you also have a house for the characters. All of these POIs were meant to be showcased throughout the game because Sonic Jam was a collection of Sonic's history, so it was really cool to run around the hub world and see things like this. Again, if you look over here, there's more concept art of some of these buildings that appeared. But the next batch of concept art is the most interesting because it pertains to my favorite Sonic game, Sonic Adventure, and this is never before seen art that is discovered so many years later. The first batch of art, if you look to the left, showcases the Mystic Ruins. It shows what looks to be the classic Sonic design. On top of that, like, temple area that you find in the middle of the Mystic Ruins, showcasing the iconic jungle area with the temple. And just by looking at the concept art, you can see just how ambitious Sonic Adventure was as a game, especially considering the fact it was released in 1998, which arguably has gameplay design elements that haven't been topped in the series to this day. The concept art to the right features a cover that Sonic was supposed to be featured on for the Saturn magazine, which kind of has art that's similar to the Yuji Uekawa Sonic DJ art. The next batches of concept art are in relation to mankind's greatest technological achievement, the egg carrier. In this Sonic Adventure concept art, you will see the pool area that is hidden in the egg carrier, and you'll see down all the way in the bottom, you will see classic Eggman in his bathing suit with what looks to be at the top an artificial sun or something like that, because I was just about to say, why does this man have a pool and why is he tanning inside when there's no sunlight? But the Eggman pool is definitely very cool, and it's really interesting to see this concept art, and clearly Sega was very excited when they were making this. If you look to the left, there's even more concept art where Eggman is on the diving board. If you didn't want to see Dr. Eggman in a bathing suit, today was a bad day to not want to do that. If you look up top, he's on the diving board with his little swimsuit, and if you look at the bottom, he's riding a mechanical duck ship. And if you look to the right, this is actually the coolest thing that I've noticed. It looks like Sega had some inspiration from some Nike shoes over on the right, with the Air logo right here, and they almost look like an early concept for the soap shoes. The Nike logo, it says Sonic on the bottom, it has another Air logo on the side, and in the middle, you have Sonic on the tongue. To me, the concept for these shoes look very similar to the Nike Air Griffies, which were released in 1996, which is very similar to around the release window of Sonic Adventure and when this concept art was being created. It also does kind of remind me of the Scottie Pippen shoes that were released around the same time as well. There was a lot of heavy 90s inspiration with Sonic Adventure, with some of the attitude, the swag, and things of that nature. The next bit of concept art highlights the Eggman base that was found in the Mystic Ruins. If you played E102 Gamma's story, you'll be very familiar with this area. It has the same cylinder layout. You have the entrance into the lair, and what looks to be a broken E-Series robot in the middle. I'm not really 100% sure. And then if you look at the bottom, it has that same area where the E-Series robots were as well. Again, here's another piece of concept art that highlights what looks to be that zone as well. I gotta say, it's very classic Eggman themed, and if you look at the bottom, it actually says E102. So this is in relation to E102 Gamma. And if you look right here, this was probably the beginning scene of the E102 Gamma series. You see Eggman in the middle, talking to what looks like is going to be a class, with again, the classic Eggman design. It's really cool to see that Sonic Adventure was once conceptualized to have the classic characters' designs. You have more egg carrier concept art. If you look right here, you have the cannon as well as the train, with Eggman being the train conductor, with those Eggman cannons actually making it into the game as well. And funny enough, you can actually go inside of these cannons and it'll shoot you out. Look at that. Boom. Did you guys know that? And also, the train made it into the game as well. So maybe Eggman is in his train conductor outfit driving this train. It's always cool to see some of this concept art come to life. And you have what looks to be the cockpit of the egg carrier as well. You see Eggman in the top smoking. Is he smoking a cigar? Oh my goodness. I guess Eggman smoking a cigar is now canon. It looks like he's in his little cockpit area, which can also be found in the egg carrier as well. So a lot of cool little details that end up making it into the game that a lot of people would never notice. If you look at the bottom, it looks like there's a Sonic dummy, or is that supposed to be Sonic? I'm not really 100% sure. But it's crazy to see all these weird little contraptions and concept arts actually made it into Sonic Adventure. And if you look at the bottom, there's a little planetary solar system thing. This also actually made it into the egg carrier. I'm just too lazy to go showcase it. We have more weird little shots of the Whack-A-Mole minigame, which is also here. You have the Eggmobile. You have another shot of what looks to be the cockpit area. And you have Eggman sliding down a pole on the left. All of this is so crazy and so weird. Actually, most of this made it into the game. So there you have it. A 25-year-old Sonic mystery has finally been solved. We now know that she is a Spider-Girl. She was planned to be in Sonic Adventure, and she had concept art. And we also found a lot of interesting insight to the egg carrier as well as other Sonic obscure history. Let me know if you want more videos like this.